Hello friends and welcome to another episode of Cycling Insider. In this episode I will give you the buyer's guide for the Cervelo Aspero GRX gravel bike, and then at the end I will give you my opinion. Should you just go ahead and buy this bike or should you just consider it? Well, first thing first, we gotta answer the question, who is this bike for? So you see, Cervelo Aspero platform is all about classical gravel road bike, although I have to mention here that you have to expect this carbon frame and the fork to be a bit on the stiffer side. So let's say you spend majority of your time on the road, but from time to time you like to go a bit off-roading, nothing too demanding, a bit of, gravel riding, then definitely you should consider Cervelo Aspero platform. But as I said, just keep in mind that this is gonna be a bit on the stiffer side of the bikes, specifically if you are comparing this gravel bike with the offerings from Giant, from Trek, or from Specialized. So this is kind of the key point with this carbon frame and the fork. So, specifically today I want to talk about the Cervelo Aspero GRX RX600 version, which comes with the Shimano's GRX group set, and the retail price of this model is $3,300. As you look at this bike, unfortunately there is only one paint scheme on offer. It is a beautiful paint scheme, kind of a metallic bronze paint scheme with a hint of black and silver. But again, $3,300. I would always suggest, Cervelo to include multiple paint schemes on these price levels. So it is what it is when it comes to the paint scheme. Just keep that in mind. Now, we can dive into the specifications of this bike and we can really see what do you get for your hard-earned money, again considering the retail price of $3,300. So as always, we can kick off with the frame and the fork of this bike. So the frame is a carbon fiber frame from Cervelo with the internal cable routing, 12mm through axles front and the back. There is a press fit bottom bracket and also flat mount disc brakes. When you look at the fork, again carbon fork from Cervelo with the tapered carbon steerer, and again you have a flat mount disc brake. I will just mention here that carbon frames and forks from Cervelo come with a lifetime warranty, which is always very nice, and I hope that, a bunch of other manufacturers will also move to offer a lifetime warranty. Now let's talk about the wheel set on this bike. So what are you getting for your money? So the wheel set is the Alex Rims Boondocks 7D wheel set. So this Alex Rims wheel set is a very classical aluminium wheel set. And some of the highlights of this wheel set definitely include that the hubs are, again, classical aluminium sealed cartridge bearings, 12mm through axle front and the back. The rim height is 26mm and the internal rim width is 23mm. Of course, 12mm through axles front and the back and 28 spokes front and the back. Total weight of this wheel set 1,956 grams. So, classical aluminium wheel set for about 2 kilograms in weight. I'm not expecting anything special. And probably once when you destroy this wheel set, this would be one of the first points of upgrade. And I would always suggest you to start looking at something like DT Swiss wheels or Bontrager wheels or, for example, Zip wheels. So many good offerings out there. This wheel set is wrapped in the Panaracer gravel tire. So this is a 38mm tire, which is very nice, and you can fit 40mm tires on this bike. So once when you destroy these tires, definitely keep it at minimum 38mm, because on gravel bikes you want to have more air volume in the tire to smoothen the ride. The only thing here that I'm noticing that this tire is only 60 TPI tire, So keep in mind, the higher you go in the TPI range, the tires are more supple. So this is kind of I would say, a cheaper option from the gravel tires, but again, it is what it is, included in this bike. Now let's talk about the crankset and the chain and cassette on this bike. So the crankset is the Shimano's GRX 600 crankset. GRX is the Shimano's dedicated gravel group set, and this is a 4630 crankset, which is paired with the Shimano HG601 chain. So this is the Shimano 105 level chain, of course 11 speed chain, because the whole group set is 11 speed. And I will also mention that the cassette here is going to be the Shimano's 105 cassette 1134. So you have a very nice range of gears from 1134 at the back, 4630 chainrings at the front. Definitely long days in the saddle, and climbing any steep mountains you won't have any problems with this. I will also mention here that when it comes to the group set on this bike, so the shifters, front mech and the rear mech, everything is Shimano GRX group set, in this case GRX 600 group set. So this is the second tier when it comes to Shimano's GRX group set, because you have a GRX 812 group set, which is top of the line, and then you have the GRX 600 group set, mechanical group set, 11 speed group set. This is a perfectly fine group set, I have no complaints about it, and Shimano GRX generally group sets are perfectly fine for any gravel riding. Now let's talk about some of the smaller pieces on this bike, like the stem and the handlebar. So when you look at the stem, you are getting an Easton EA50 aluminum stem, or you can choose a Cervelo stem. I would stick with the Easton aluminum stem. And also when you look at the handlebars, they are again Easton EA50 aluminum handlebars. All these pieces perfectly fine. They are separate pieces, no proprietary pieces here. And also keep in mind that if you need any upgrading in the future, it's going to be super easy. And also when you are adjusting your position on the bike, it's going to be super easy, because, as I say, both handlebars and the stem, classical aluminum piece and classical separated pieces. Braking system on this bike, Shimano GRX hydraulic disc brakes, RX 600 braking calipers, and also 160mm braking rotors front and the back. And these braking rotors are very basic and simple Shimano's RT66 braking rotors. As it is, Shimano hydraulic disc brakes GRX level, perfectly fine, I have no complaints here. The only thing I would mention here with the braking rotors is that once when you destroy these basic RT66 rotors, I would suggest you to have a look at the Shimano's Ultegra braking rotors, or you can look at the Shimano mountain bike world, for example Shimano SLX or Shimano XT braking rotors. So just upgrade in the future, because you will have so much better heat dissipation and also the braking power. But definitely keep it at 160mm both front and the back. Now when we talk about the saddle and the seat post, there is a bit of surprise with seat post, because the seat post is aluminum seat post from Easton. This is total no-no in my book, and this should be changed immediately. Or if you are negotiating the price of this bike with your local Cervelo bike dealer, you have to tell them to replace this aluminum seat post and give you a proper carbon fiber seat post. They can easily do it. Easton does, again, carbon fiber seat post, their Easton EC70. They can easily replace it and just take out this aluminum seat post. This is an absolute no-no, especially when you consider the $3,300 price. When it comes to the saddle, you have two choices. One is the Cervelo's road saddle, or Selle Italia Model X. I would definitely go with the Selle Italia Model X, but since saddles are a personal preference, maybe you have your own saddle which you want to keep in the future. Cervelo didn't mention the total bike weight of this bike, but again, I would expect it in some kind of size large, or size, 56, 58. This bike can easily be somewhere between 8.5 to 9 kilograms, especially when you put the pedals on the bike. So in a summary, what is my advice to you, considering that the retail price of this bike is $3,300? So when you look at this Cervelo Aspero GRX RX600, I would just advise you to kind of consider this bike. The main kind of reason that kind of bothers me with this bike is this Okay, the retail price of $3,300 and then Cervelo goes and includes only aluminum seat post on this bike. This is like a no-no, absolute no-no. And also I have to mention that the wheel set that they have included, this Alex Rims Boondocks 7D wheel set, it's a totally average aluminum wheel set, so again, it's a bit kind of pricier, eye-watering price. 3,300, not so much eye-watering to be honest, but a bit pricier bike considering what the competition can do, especially as you look at the Giant offerings, as you look at the Canyon offerings, or even some other brands like Cube can do much more interesting gravel road bikes for a bit lower price. So definitely Cervelo Aspero GRX, consider this bike with a retail price of $3,300. So I think this is going to be it for today. If you like what I'm doing, please do subscribe. Please, give me a like on this video because it's going to help in growing the channel. And as always, I will see you soon in the next episode. Cheers!